So we're here, 13th of July in the 6th season now, and Fran Beltran has had a massive offer of up to £35 million rejected by Ralph Rangnick. So yeah, we obviously have some kind of plans for Fran Beltran because he's played quite a lot last season too. He played 24 games last season. Of course, he's been in and out of the team, playing at left wing back, playing in that DM role. Now that we've only gone to, of course, this formation where we're playing just the one DM, he's been used elsewhere in that inverted wing back role. But still, that's a lot of money to turn down because we only have £17 million in the budget with 365k. So we might even move that across to try and encourage Ralph Rangnick to make some signings. But he has made one so far, so let's take a look. It was right at the end of last season on the 16th of June. Alberto Malero, who is a wonder kid from Real Madrid at the start of the game that you can pick up for quite cheap. Actually, he's at Las Palmas, but we got him from Real Madrid. He went to Real Madrid for £6.25 million, barely played any games, and yet he's actually progressed really nicely, considering he hasn't played any games. 22 years of age, so he's still got a long time for us to recorrect his career, I guess, and put it back on track. And he has some really great attributes, especially in that technicals 17, 16, even 14 for pass from that 17 technique, and that 16 for vision. Has some decent player traits, although I'm not too fond of the likes to beat opponent repeatedly, but when they've got a good amount of flair and dribbling ability, it's all right. So with good physicals as well, that 16 agility and decent enough pace, playing in the shadow striker role, he should be quite effective for us, especially coming off the bench. We're paying him quite a lot of wages, which was my only downside to this transfer, was the wages was quite high. But again, we get him for quite a long period of time because, yeah, he's a very young Spanish player. So other than that, nothing to report on this pre-season yet. Okay, we've got some more offers coming in here, some big ones as well. Lorenzo Luca up to £83 million from Manchester City, and it's been rejected, which I think shows how far as a club we have come. Fran Beltran, again, another bid up to £47 million, but we do have an offer accepted from Sheffield United for Renan because I've put him on the unwanted list, and I believe that will be enough for us to use. So yeah, I mean, other than that, we've just been signing some free transfers again, which he obviously likes to do. Nobody really on the outs. Cody Drammer leaving for £4.5 million, and Malik Thiaw leaving for £18 million, but I think that happened at the end of the season. Jens Peter Hawk has also left us. He was on the unwanted list for £8 million. Never really amounted to anything, especially when we changed to a narrow formation. Now, our first game of the season was at home to Chelsea, and thankfully for us, we actually took the lead with our regen Valentin Romero scored an absolute corker there into the top corner. But unfortunately, in the 94th minute, Vinny Jr. plays out to Rudiger, who crosses it in to the best striker in the world, Robert Lewandowski, who must be 36 now and still banging in the goals. I'll take a look at him because why not? I'm guessing you will be interested. 37, so almost. He's just about to turn 38 too. And he is still absolutely incredible on this game. So yeah, he's been playing for Chelsea for a number of years now, and he's just been bagging goals, goals, goals. We have had some offers going in, but they have been rejected so far. Ilya Zabani, which would have been a great signing, £26 million, rejected from Dynamo Kiev. He is a fantastic wonder kid on this game in that centre-back role, a player that we could be using for a long period of time. Also would make a great joker, I think, with that face. Other than that, again, no real signings, ins or outs, just a lot of free transfers and just the same old players. Mohamed Kudus has actually left us though, £10 million. We just keep adding to our transfer budget, but without really spending anything yet. Right, we are right in the midst of transfer deadline day. We've got 10 hours to go, and there are just all these offers coming in for our players, and they're all being accepted. Yanis Antiste is leaving. He's being loaned out, but with an optional future fee, so we probably won't see him anymore. And yet there's more. Renan is finally leaving. He's been rejecting contracts left, right, and centre, but now he is now going to Wolves, which that one's fine because we kind of agreed with that. Brentford, we've been rejecting offers for Felix Afinajan, but there is other offers coming in that we have been accepting, including Mohamed Simakan, which I'm really gutted with, and I know it's kind of my fault because I could have played this guy more and he probably would have been better. But at the same time, I didn't want to restrict for fatigueness, putting a player in every single game. When we've had players like Kamara, then he would have been left out ever so slightly. So I kind of left it up to the assistant manager, of course, which we all know is Jesse March, to make that decision and rotate the club. And Simikan has played quite a lot of games, as you can see, and he started like over half the games each season. But his valuation then hasn't gone up, and Ralf Rangnick hasn't really seen him as like a crucial first team player. And now we're selling him for like £8.25 million up front, £16 million in total, which, yeah, I'm kind of gutted with. We have been rejecting offers for Thiago Almeida, thankfully, £40 million there, and Felix Ajan up to £20 million. But we have £46 million in the budget, and we're not making any offers for players. We've got 10 hours left. Whether he's waiting for more money to come in or not, I'm not sure. But hey, let's please do something. Before we look at the roundup of that transfer window and see if we brought any players in, today's video is sponsored by Spitch. Yes, Spitch are the brand new fantasy footballing app to the market that you can download for free on your mobile devices. You can get it in countries like the UK, Germany, and Austria. So if you are in one of those countries and you'd like to join and sign up to Spitch, then look no further than the top of the description. That first link, you can download it. It will take you on your mobile device to download Spitch for free. Then there's a link underneath it where you can join my community league again for free and battle it out against 60 other people for a week-by-week basis. I say week-by-week because it doesn't matter if you just join right now at the end of the season. You can still have fun battling out against every one of us. See if you can beat me on a weekly basis, and then following next season where we start off from the beginning, then of course you can look at the seasonal basis as well. But the best thing I think about Spitch is that there is no transfer limit. Every single time you have a look at Spitch, you can select a brand new team in there. You don't have to worry about the amount of transfers that you're allowed to use on a monthly or yearly basis. That doesn't count in Spitch. And of course you can actually win some prize money on Spitch, and yet it doesn't cost you a penny. You will have to be 18 or over, however, and take a little snap of your identification. But once you've done that, you're absolutely fine. You're in. So if you haven't done so already, top of the description, make sure you're downloading Spitch. You'll be supporting me as a content creator, and you'll be supporting you while having some fun. Thank you very much for Spitch for sponsoring today's video. Right, well, the transfer window has passed, and I've got to say, it's probably our worst one that I think we've done. We received £70 million. We only spent £6.5 million. I'm not quite sure what Ralf Rangnick's plan is, whether he thinks this squad is good enough, but we have, like, so much money in the bank to do something with, and yet we're just not doing it. We weren't even, like, making offers, which was worrying me slightly as well, so, yeah, I don't know. Our squad is looking quite bare as well, like really, really bare. You can see this doesn't look like a full squad now, where we're kind of, we get a couple of injuries, we might be a little bit screwed, especially at like centre-back. Really, we've only got 2 out-and-out centre-backs and one in Kamara, who obviously plays centre-back naturally, but is also a DM too. On that right-back role, we only have Caligari. Left-back, I mean, we've trained Beltran there, and we also have Ciranola there. Other than that, there's nobody, and neither of those two are really good at left back. So that's another position that I think we're really struggling with. So our results, they're actually been quite good considering our team is quite stretched. We beat Wolves 1-0. Valentin Romero scored yet again. Fantastic from him. We then played Blackpool in the Cup. We defeated them 6-0, trying to give ourselves a bit of confidence, because then in 3 days' time we played Manchester United at home and we actually drew with them 1-1. Marcus Rashford in the 42nd minute, Lorenzo Luca in the 68th. So an unbeaten start to the season, but there's only been 3 Premier League games. We are currently sat in 8th place. Of course, we've got no European football either to look out for, so I'm guessing it's this season that we need to retain that back and try and get back into European football, maybe even go on a bit of a cup run. Because right now, I mean, obviously we're playing this tactic yet again, the 2-3-3-2. I know a lot of you might not like that kind of tactic, but I actually really enjoy it, because when I actually play the games, then it looks quite a lot of fun. Instead of the one that we used before, we were scoring goals and everything. This is a lot more fun to watch in the match engine, and we are like 7 months into the game, whatever it is. So yeah, it's nice to see something a little bit different. And dropping that advanced playmaker role, or the attacking playmaker instead of a shadow striker, I really just feel like comes and helps when we are with the ball. Just creates a little bit of space, and then the two shadow strikers then are a little bit further forward. It just gives us the best of both worlds, I think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Right, we're at the 18th of January then. We're in the midst of the January transfer window. We are currently sat in 7th place, which is not bad. Okay, it's not bad. We are only 3 points off 4th as well, which is even better. We'll take a look at some of the results in a second. However, transfer-wise, well, we still have nearly £60 million in the bank, but we are making some moves, and it does look like we will be signing Julian Aoud, or Oud? God knows, I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Julian, £4.2 million up to £5 million. He is a left back who can play left wing back. Thankfully, maybe Ralph was like listening in on our little conversation there at the start of the season and was like, hey, you're right, we do need a left back. So there we go. So yeah, we're going to sign Julian. That'll be a good little sign-in, but I still think we need some extra bodies in there currently because, yeah, I mean, we signed Edouard Medina as well. Really, like, we're not going to use this guy, are we? Really? Might be as a backup, but probably not. We haven't actually sold anybody since, which thankfully. So at the minute, we're still looking quite sparse, but let's take a look at some of the schedule. Actually, we'll go competitions because we're in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We just beat Torquay 6-0, and we've been knocked out by Brighton in the Carabao Cup. But like I mentioned, we're in 7th place, and some results have been quite good for us. We did have a great spell in December where we had an 8-3 victory against Bournemouth. An incredible game. Lorenzo Luca with a hat-trick there. A lot of other names getting on the score sheet. Imagine being Bournemouth, thinking you're conceding, you're going to score 3 goals, and yet you still lose by 5. Amazing. And yet again, they're playing at Ashton Gate because they're probably building the Eddie Howe Arena, which they usually do. But we followed that up with like a 5-0 victory against Sheffield United, a 4-4 draw against Everton, and a 4-0 victory against Stoke. So we're scoring loads of goals, and then we go from that to a 5-0 loss to Manchester City, who have like Federico Chiesa and Benjamin Sesko. So yeah, I mean, the start of January hasn't been too pleasant either. We were actually in the top 4 for quite a while. Let's take a look at that because it does look like recently we've dropped off quite a lot, and if we wouldn't, we was in 3rd place at one point and in 4th up until that January spot. Right, we're in the deadline day action. 15 hours to go. We have £53 million in the bank, and it finally looks like we're making another sign-in. But it's for another left back. Like, I was joking when we said we needed, like, legs at left back. Like, yeah, we've got one. We brought in Julian. But now we're going to also bring in Alejandro Balde, who, yeah, he's a fantastic player. But is it better to just bring in other positions? I mean, he does play on the right-hand side, I guess, which is obviously a great upside to his game. He hasn't played that many games lately, so his development has been kind of like pushed back a little bit. He's 23 now and he still has a good potential. Those physical attributes are obviously fantastic, but it does look like we'll be getting that deal over the line. £18.75 million bid was accepted, and we're dealing with the contract right now. Julian cost us £6 million, and other than a loan deal in September, we haven't actually sold anybody in January. And the transfer window has closed, and that was the only deal that happened. Alejandro Balde is now our player. The 23-year-old comes in. Yeah, I think he adds a lot of squad depth to our team, especially at fullback, but there is still a lot of positions where I would have liked to have seen another player enter the frame. Just to have a look at some statistics, Lorenzo Luca has scored 24 goals in his 28 games. We are playing a lot of Rafinha up front instead of anybody else. He's got 16 in 27, so Lorenzo Colombo has dropped down to the bench, as well as Afina Gian. So both of those guys every now and then make an appearance. But it does look like in the centre attacking shadow striker roles, we are playing the likes of Kubo, Romero, Almeida, and even Fran Beltran, who I think is getting quite a lot of game time playing at left wing back or in that DM role, because Calvin Phillips has made 8 appearances off the bench. Caligari, I would say, has been our best player this season though. 5 goals and 12 assists from right wing back. So a fantastic young player that everybody knows about. Caligari has been solid for us. And with the remainder of January seeing 3 wins in the Premier League without actually conceding a goal, a 3-0 victory against Palace, 4-0 against Stoke, and a 2-0 win against Wolves. We are currently sat in 5th place in the Premier League, so it's down to us to make this end of the season a good one and maybe, just maybe, push for a Champions League spot. Well, here we are at the end of the season. Let's take a look at the league table. We have just, by a point, missed out on Champions League football. By a point. 68 points. Manchester United, there was 69. I'm so gutted with that. I mean, at least we've got European football next season. We lost in the FA Cup to Middlesbrough. So that was my main goal, was to get European football back. 21 wins as well, 5 losses, 12 losses, 5 draws. Lorenzo Luca in there with 22 goals, 1 behind Mohamed Salah, but Caligari with the most assists this season. He has been absolutely phenomenal. Oh, I've got to be kind of disappointed with that. I did also notice that we're having bids coming in already for some of our players. Jamie Shackleton's leaving and Jack Harrison is leaving for Atalanta. £24 million being added to our budget. So that's a deal that's already been done before, and we were only at the 1st of June. So there we go. Ralf Rangnick, I mean, Atalanta maybe, is coming in with a lot of offers. Ralf Rangnick is going to have to start making some signings here. So, let's take a look at some statistics then. I'm so gutted with that 1 point. 30 goals for Lorenzo Luca, 20 for Rafinha, Almeida with 14, and Romero with 12. Assist-wise, if we take a look at it, Caligari has 17, Kubo has 15, and Almeida has 10. I'm curious to have a look at Kubo and see how well he's developing. It's not bad, to be fair. There is a couple of player traits that I dislike about him. Now, what might have been a little bit of success if he did change tactic at the end of January into a diamond formation. Now, I've been finding quite a lot of success with diamonds recently, especially in some rebuilds, and I've catered this one for the Leeds team that we have. So we've got 2 Mazzalas, a DM there, and a target forward for, obviously, Lorenzo Luca. And I think that's mainly the reason why we've been doing so well, because if we take a look at some of our players, the likes of Kubo, who's been playing in a Mazzala role, and he's developed quite well as well. Most of the time he's been playing in a Mazzala role, he's been getting some good average ratings to the point where he has been seeing a 7.23 average rating throughout the whole season. Almeida, who I would imagine would be in the shadow striker role most of the time, he is sharing the role with Mazzala. So I think this is quite important. The reason why we don't obviously write in every position is that they can chop and change, and my assistant manager Jesse March can make those decisions, because obviously Romero might also be really good in that shadow striker role. He's been playing in both roles as well. So I think that has had a massive effect, and Romero's progressing quite nicely. Just need those technicals to catch up, really. He's only 22, though. Very high value. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments section. Where do you think we are pretty light right now? Because if you take a look at squad depth, the reason why I changed it to the diamond is to give us a little bit of bolster in midfield and make sure the players like Calvin Phillips and Fran Beltran and Kamara can all get a lot of game times, especially if we're looking like we're playing Kaiki and Cuenca at the same time. We can play Kamara too. So, yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Where do you think we need to, hopefully, get somebody in the door? I really do think we still need a better left-back than the 3 that we have. None of them are good enough. None of them are good enough. And possibly another strike partner for Lorenzo Luca. Rafinha, he's 30 now. I wouldn't mind letting him go. I would not mind letting him go and bringing in an out-and-out striker who would score just as many goals as Lorenzo Luca and try and get us Champions League football. But that's all for you down in the comments section. Please leave a like on the video if you can, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.